Hello everybody, I haven't made a tutorial in a while, but I got a request to make a double full tutorial, and so I'll be going over how to do double full and the prerequisites and everything like that. So, in my opinion, I would feel that the prerequisites for double full would be, you'd want to be able to do a full on floor every single time. So you want to be able to have that on Smash, because it's just a necessity, especially if you're going to be adding a twist. You want to be able to make sure that you're extremely comfortable with just doing one. The second prerequisite you should have is double full on trampoline. That's just kind of like a requirement. It doesn't actually have to be necessarily trampoline. Some other surface that's like easier to do than on ground, like air trick, would work too. You just need to have that double twisting motion locked in your head, and make sure that you're comfortable with that, so that when you try it on floor, it's nothing new, and then you have a better chance of landing it. And the third prerequisite I have is being able to do a few full variations. From what I've heard, it's recommended that you have around 6 of them. What this does is it just gives you extra air awareness throughout the whole double full. It also adds bail points for you, so if you take off wrong, you have a safe place to land instead of crashing. Okay, so let's move on to step 1. Alright, so for step 1, it's just the setup. So for this one, the only really thing that you need to do is just find your most powerful setup for whichever dub you're trying to learn. If you're going for cart dub, you will probably want to be able to make sure that your strongest setup is like TDR punch, or a lot of people do cartwheel. If you're going for double cork, you want to make sure that you're doing your strongest double cork setup, for example, master scooter TDR. In short, you just want to make sure that you are using your most comfortable and powerful setup for your first dub. Okay, next we're going to be talking about takeoff from your setup. So this is super important factor because it is the base for your trick. So depending on how this goes dictates how the rest of your double full is going to go. So for example, it's really important to spot on your takeoff, specifically out of cartwheel. When I do it, okay, and then on your takeoff, I like to spot in this direction. That way I'm not drifting during my dub. So I come up here, my chest is facing this way, my head is facing this way. I bring my arms up, and then I turn them in whatever direction I go. I'll talk about that in a little bit, about inversion levels and the axis that you want. Now my direction of movement is going this way instead of this way or this way if I were to take off facing one of those directions. So if I do cartwheel and I'm facing this way, now my body is going to naturally put my direction of movement this way instead of this way, which is going to cause me to drift this way, and then that way when I land, I'm probably going to be leaning this way, right? And then I'll fall instead of landing it straight up and down. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about spotting during and after your flips. You did your setup, cartwheel, alright, you spotted on your takeoff, and now you are in your twists. If you have those prerequisites down, here comes like the easy part. So if you have those down, all you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to do the double twist just like on tramp, and then you should be able to land. If you want to take it to a higher level, it's important to spot, especially. Say you're going to want to swing double full later, or you're going to want to do variations of it. Changing your inversion axis is super important because that allows you to do bigger variations or makes you get a bigger eagle, and then you can swing out of it. Okay, so assuming you have your twist down in the prerequisites, now is time for spotting. Say you're going to go for double full variation, you're going to do your cartwheel, all right, and you spot here. Instead of flipping, you're going to want to cancel out your flip as much as you can. Personally, this is just what I do. If it's different for you, do what works for you. But you're going to want to just vert twist as much as possible. So that way, when you come around and spot your target here, and then since you're vert twist, your body's almost going to be in this position. So your chest is going to be above your hips, and then your kicks are going to come out here. And that way, your variation is going to bring you the rest of the flip around. Say you vert twist here, you do shuriken, and then see how now my hips are angled down. That way, when I twist, my hips are facing down, and that variation gets me the rest of the flip that I need, and it makes the variation look a lot bigger. Okay, just to touch on everything really quick again, you're gonna want, for prerequisites, you're gonna want to be able to do full every time. You're gonna want to be able to do 6 variations of that full, and you're gonna want to be able to do double full on tramp every single time. Step 1 is your setup. You want to make sure that you have a powerful setup into your trick. Play around with what feels best. Step 2 is the takeoff and the spotting. You're going to want to make sure you're facing your direction of movement. If you're taking off for a double cork, you want to be facing the way you came from. Make sure that your chest is square in whichever way you're going. Step 3 is spotting. You want to be able to make sure that you are very comfortable with doing double fulls and that you have full control of your body. Being able to do those prerequisites are really, really important and make doing double full really, really easy. You just know exactly where you are the whole time, and messing around with inversion levels is great, because that way you'll be able to advance and build on top of your double full. Okay guys, that's all I have for you guys today for the double full tutorial. If you have any questions or anything, just DM me over Instagram and I'll get back to you. Peace out.